So we are live now.
Okay. Very good afternoon to all of you. Today, as part of the India International Science Festival IISF 2020 Curtain Raiser event, IITM Pune is organizing a webinar on clean air management for public welfare. We have two distinguished guests today with us. So I will welcome them, and they will say a few words, and then we will go to the webinar. So first, we have here Mr. Mukund Deshpande. He is right now CEO of Metal Innovations, and he is originally hailing from Aurangabad, and he has his master's from Bharati Vidyapit Pune College of Pharmacy, and he started his career at NCL Pune. So after which he gained a valuable experience in the pharma area, and then this included working with multinational companies in product research and development and platform technology, intellectual property, education. And Mukund Deshpande ji is the Joint Secretary to Vidyan Bharati Western Region and National Executive Committee member for Grassroots Innovation, National Executive Council member for NGOs Network, etc. So Vibhavani, he was the convener for the recently organized third Vishwa Veda Vigyan Sammelan, an international conference on the confluence of traditional knowledge system and modern science. So I invite Mr. Mukund Deshpande ji to say a few words on in Science Foundation. So over to you.
Thank you, Vinodji. Namaskar, sir. So, welcome to all. Do you mind if I speak in Hindi?
No issue. Go ahead.
No issue. Please go ahead.
So, ये बहुत ही अनोखा अनुभव है कि इंडिया इंटरनेशनल साइंस फेस्टिवल, जिसका एक उत्सव का स्वरूप रहता है, अभी 2015 से शुरू होकर आज 2020 है। इसका कर्टन रेजर आईआईटीएम में भी हर साल हुआ है और बहुत सारे लोगों ने हिस्सा लिया है। मैं अभी वही सोच रहा था, जो यहाँ का भव्य सभागृह है, वहां पे हम सब मिलके इसका कर्टन रेजर करते थे और सर का सानिध्य मिलता था उसी बहाने से भी। कोई बात नहीं, आज इस आभासी स्वरूप में ही एक दूसरे से हम बात कर रहे हैं। लेकिन जैसा कहते हैं कि जहां संकट है वहां कोई चुनौतियों के साथ में कुछ संधि भी आपको मिलती है, कोई मौका भी मिलता है। वैसा ही इस बार इंडिया इंटरनेशनल साइंस फेस्टिवल का विषय हमारे माननीय मंत्री जी श्री हर्षवर्धन जी, विज्ञान भारती के राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष डॉक्टर विजय भटकर जी, राष्ट्रीय संगठन मंत्री श्री जयंतराव सहस्रबुद्धे जी, इन सब लोगों ने जिस प्रकार सोचा है कि आत्मनिर्भर भारत और विज्ञान के माध्यम से विकास की तरफ जाना, ये इस आईआईएसएफ का विषय है। तो मैं थोड़ा सा इसके बारे में बताना चाहूंगा। इस बार के आईआईएसएफ में उन सभी विषयों पे हम काम करने जा रहे हैं जो इससे पहले थे और कुछ उससे अधिक है। इस बार की विशेषता ये रहेगी कि आत्मनिर्भरता की तरफ जाते हुए जिस प्रकार का इकोसिस्टम, इनोवेशन इकोसिस्टम भारत में अब तक के बना है, उसके सब स्टेक होल्डर्स को क्या हम एक मंच पे ला सकते हैं क्या, और इसी से निकला हुआ ये कार्यक्रम आईआईएसएफ है। इस बार जो नए आयाम इसमें जुड़ेंगे, उसमें जो पिछले साल था ग्लोबल इंडियन साइंटिस्ट एंड टेक्नोक्रेट्स फोरम, उसका और ज्यादा अच्छा परिचय इस बार होगा। और मैं तो बहुत आनंद के साथ कह रहा हूं कि जैसे डॉक्टर साहब यहाँ पे अभी है, हैबिटेट अर्बन रूरल, और उसी के साथ जो थिन एयर की बात है, ये भी एक नया आयाम इस बार इस आईआईएसएफ में होगा। विज्ञान भारती 1992 में जब नागपुर में उसकी शुरुआत हुई, तो उसी के साथ ऐसा विज्ञान जो भारत का सर्वहितैषी है, हर प्रकार से हित करेगा, और इस प्रकार का विज्ञान जो हमारे वैज्ञानिक बनाते हैं या जिस प्रकार का संशोधन अनुसंधान होता है, वो जनमानस में कैसा जाए, और उसके लिए विज्ञान भारती का संगठन हुआ। और विज्ञान भारती आज जो काम कर रही है वो 27 से ज्यादा प्रांत जिसको कहते हैं उसमें, और अलग अलग देशों में भी अभी काम शुरू हुआ है विज्ञान भारती का। खास करके मैं बताना चाहूंगा SIF जो है, साइंस का इंडिया फोरम, साइंस इंडिया फोरम जो है, जो 7 गल्फ कंट्रीज में काम करता है, उसी के साथ विश्व के कुछ बड़े ऐसे मंच जो विषय पर काम करते हैं वो भी विज्ञान भारती ने शुरू किए हैं, जैसे वर्ल्ड आयुर्वेद फाउंडेशन, जिसके तहत वर्ल्ड आयुर्वेद कॉन्फ्रेंस भारत में होती है, और उसी के साथ पिछले कुछ वर्षों से भारत के बाहर भी इस प्रकार का आयोजन विज्ञान भारती ने किया है। इंडिया इंटरनेशनल साइंस फेस्टिवल के जो विषय है, जिसमें एग्रीटेक से लेके हेल्थ केयर टेक तक हर प्रकार का जो नया संशोधन है उसको एकत्रित किया जाएगा, लेकिन इसमें आ सके ऐसे जो विद्यार्थी है, जो शिक्षक है, उनका भी एकत्रीकरण इस IISF के माध्यम से होता है, हर साल होता है। इस बार भी जो साइंस टीचर्स कॉन्फ्रेंस है वो भी होने वाली है, और जो यंग साइंटिस्ट का कॉन्फ्रेंस होता है वो भी होने वाला है। लेकिन जैसे कि मैंने शुरुआत में कहा, इस बार के इस संकट समय में ये सब थोड़ा अलग फॉर्मेट में होगा, लेकिन इसमें जो एक्सचेंज या जो विचारों का आदान प्रदान अपेक्षित है वो पूर्ण रूप से हो सके, इसके लिए भी तंत्रज्ञान के माध्यम से विज्ञान भारती, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ साइंस टेक्नोलॉजी, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ अर्थ साइंसेस, इन्हीं के माध्यम से जो CSIR, DBT, ये सब लोग बड़े तांत्रिक तरीके से इसको करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, और ये जो तंत्रज्ञान है इसके माध्यम से बहुत सारे लोग इससे जुड़ सकेंगे। मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ आयुष भी हर बार की तरह इस बार इसमें हिस्सा ले रहा है, इसीलिए आयुष से संबंधित भी जो नए नए तंत्रज्ञान है, ICMR से निगडित जो नए नए तंत्रज्ञान है वो भी इसमें दिखाए जाएंगे। एक जो और बात मैं इसमें कहना चाहता हूं वो ऐसी है कि मेगा टेक जिसको कहते हैं, जिसका दायरा थोड़ा बड़ा होता है, इसका एक एक्सपो भी IISF में होने जा रहा है। ये भी आभासी तौर पे होगा, ऑनलाइन होगा, और हर जगह पे, जैसे कि आज हम IITM में बैठे हैं, मैं IITM के मेरे सभी बंधुओं का धन्यवाद करता हूं, और सर का नेतृत्व इस संस्था को मिला था। आज फिर से हमें एक बार उनके अनुभवों से इस प्रकार का विज्ञान का उपयोग, जिससे जन सामान्य के जो सवाल है उस पे उत्तर मिले, ऐसा काम करने वाले हमारे सभी IITM के वैज्ञानिक और उनसे जुड़े हुए लोग, ये जैसे IISF के बारे में और भारतीय विज्ञान और आत्मनिर्भरता के बारे में आने वाले कुछ दिनों में सबसे मिलेंगे या बात करेंगे, जिसका आज हम कर्टन रेजर कर रहे हैं, ऐसे सभी को मैं आह्वान करना चाहूंगा कि विज्ञान भारती और विज्ञान भारती के कार्यकर्ता और उनसे जुड़े हुए सभी लोग हर प्रकार से इस विषय को लोगों तक पहुंचाने में प्रयत्नशील है, और आप सभी भी इसमें आइए, क्योंकि विज्ञान ये बिना पार्टिसिपेशन के या बिना लोगों का उसमें जो उनकी भूमिका है वो जब तक अदा नहीं होती तब तक विज्ञान समाज में उसका मूर्त रूप नहीं ले सकता, और यही हम सब मानते भी है, और इसी को सक्षम उसका साक्षात्कार हर जगह पे आए, इसलिए हमेशा काम करते रहते हैं। मैं रमेश जी को रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं कि वो कार्यक्रम को आगे लेके जाए और उनके विषय में हम सबको मार्गदर्शन करे। सभी को धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Mr. Mukundji. Thank you for a very nice introduction. So now I invite Dr. KJ Ramesh for the webinar. So Dr. KJ Ramesh, I request no introduction. He is very popular among all of us, but still I read few sentences about him. So Dr. KJ Ramesh is our former Director General of Meteorology. At present, he is full-time technical member of Commission for Air Quality Management for the NCR and adjoining areas. And Dr. Ramesh is also an adjunct professor of International Strategic and Security Studies Program, National Institute of Advanced Studies. He served as a technical head disaster management unit for government of Andhra Pradesh during 2001 to 5 on cyclone and flood hazard mitigation. And he was advisor to in MOES and as a scientist G from 2007 to 16, looking after atmospheric science services and the climate change research program development. Dr. K. J. Ramesh served as Director General of Meteorology during 16 to 19 tenure, leading weather, climate, and multi-hazard warning services for the country. He is elected fellow of various academies such as Andhra Pradesh Academy of Sciences, Telangana Academy of Sciences, Indian Climate Congress, Indian Meteorological Society, etc. Sir, it's an honor to invite you to give a lecture on clean air management for public welfare in this occasion. So over to you.
Thank you so much, Vinu, and very good afternoon to all distinguished colleagues who have joined this particular webinar. And how to share the screen?
Please.
Your entire screen. I should select your entire screen?
Yes, select that share your screen button, bottom left.
That I have done.
Yeah, select entire screen and share, please.
Share your screen. Entire screen is there, but
click on it and then share.
No, that share screen is not getting activated.
When you click on it, it will get activated. Click on with your mouse.
No, it is not happening. Application window is there. Chrome tab is there.
So in the application window, then in the entire screen, click on it, and share button will get activated.
No, it is not happening. Share audio also I should click.
That automatically gets.
But I don't know. It is not getting activated.
So try application window. Then if PPT is open, that way.
Yeah, application window. My screen I am seeing.
Okay, then go to your entire screen. That is the best option.
No, but now only it is getting activated. Your entire screen, that screen is not getting activated.
Okay, please share then.
Application window, yes, share is open now.
Yeah, very good. We are able to see now. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Please switch to full screen mode. Thank you.
Yeah, I will go to full screen mode.
Very good.
So you all know that now clean air has become an important issue since it is started affecting our public health and community health in that particular manner because of high pollution concentration in different parts of the country, particularly in North India, from Northwest India, whole of Northwest India, Gangetic Plain particularly, because of low mixing height conditions for large part of the winter, 3 months, 4 months period, starting from October to February. So we have the problem of high pollution concentration at the ground, and that is started affecting the clean environment and oxygen deficiency and associated harmful impacts of the hazardous pollutants. There are primary pollutants, secondary pollutants, all that are there. But now we have to deal with that. Added to that, we have the problem of stubble burning happening in Punjab, Haryana, and even Western Uttar Pradesh, etc. Because of the anticyclonic wind, northwesterly flow prevalent during the winter in particularly surrounding Delhi. So we have that during the time of middle of October to end of November, that 6 weeks of crop residue burning will bring additional load of pollutants to deal with in Delhi. So this is a phenomena added over and above the concentrations, high pollution emissions within the Delhi and NCR region. We have to deal with additional load coming from the crop residue burn. So we have to work out a mechanism through which robust science-based guidance for managing the air quality need to be worked out. That is the main mandate given to our Commission for Air Quality Management. It is just created 2 weeks before by the government. And for most of us, so, and weather plays and weather circulation plays very important role in deciding the distribution of the pollutants and concentrations over there, and how the atmospheric chemistry then plays to generate secondary pollutants, how the scenario of air quality distribution varies from different parts of the city and the NCR region, and weather is very crucial. So that's how we are working on building air quality early warning systems using WRF chemistry and SILAM, and 2-3 variants are there with the effort of a team of scientists working in Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, starting from SUFFER program of 2010. Then in 2018, we have added additional models of early warning of air quality from IITM with the Sachin and others working on it. And then in IMD also, with the Finland collaboration, SILAM model is implemented, and now we are working on city scale model of Infuser. And in this, we'll discuss more about it. What are the opportunities? What is the best science becoming available, made available for services, and planning the response actions to deal with the air quality emergency, etc. So for a farmer, it becomes very important to support him from the good quality warning of rainfall, temperature, and now the air quality factors also on the air quality domain. Also, we should educate the farmer to become more concerned about the air quality associated with his actions on the field. And this is a new dimension of effort which got added now to deal separately or additionally with the farming community of North India. And then several business models are associated, business communities, whole global economy is linked to the air quality. Air quality is not a local issue. It is there in throughout the world, and they have better management systems, whether you call it USA, whether you call it Europe. They have better air quality management systems because they started working on these things at least 2 decades earlier. So New York 20 years before had same situation as that of Delhi. So now they have EPA and other scientists in US has worked to find the solutions. Similarly, Finland models have been used extensively in Europe, and now we have very recently we have Copernicus atmospheric services products. That's where the global scale air quality and forecasts are generated, and global scale inventories of carbonaceous and non-carbonaceous aerosols have been prepared. And then the service is operationally launched from ECMWF, and in a 5-day medium range scale at 25 kilometers resolution, we have these products available, air quality products, and most of the dominant pollutants are predicted, their concentrations are predicted across the globe, and they give us to have very very accurate and more representative boundary conditions to run India specific model, and then the local models, high resolution models over India, etc. That's what precisely we are doing for last 3-4 years, and more of that will be doing in years to come, and create a guidance for appropriate action for air quality management. So in this, economic goals and societal goals are integrated. If human activity, your business as usual activity gets affected when surrounding air quality is not good, and you have comorbidities associated with that, so your functional efficiency goes down. So now it is whether you call it as a clean air, or more carbon, a biomass in soil, and reduction of rural poverty. All these things are linked to one another. So in this particular scenario, clean air alone in isolation you cannot deal. You have to deal with climate, water, air quality, and environment. Because waste related issues degrades the environment surrounding the human habitations. So you have to deal four disciplines: weather and water are the implicit part of the global atmospheric circulation prediction, and then the air quality gets impacted by that, added with the local emissions, and then the water waste, solid waste management and sewage, etc., will add to further degradation to both the atmosphere and as well as the soil. So these are the four domains we will have to deal to ensure a clean air environment in a habitat. So we have several opportunities globally. A lot of work is going on. A lot of efforts are going on. So most added to this, we have a dimension of carbon dioxide increase and associated warming. So they give more conducive, favorable conditions for the pollutants to increase in a rapid, accelerated manner. Natural forcing supporting the pollutants concentration increase has been there. Apart from anthropogenic actions, human actions of pollution concentrations increase, we have the problem from the natural sources also. We will discuss some of those things. So climate and air quality now are intimately linked because they affect the radiative forcing also. Warming and cooling of the atmosphere is also modulated by the aerosols. So in terms of the COVID times, let us see how the emissions of greenhouse gases have shown a variation. Definitely once the lockdown started in third week of March, so definitely there is a decrease in the emissions of greenhouse gases of carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and NOx. So there is a clear-cut division decrease in terms of the emissions. But if you measure the concentrations, if you see the concentrations of these greenhouse gases, there is no change is noticed compared to the August of 2019 and compared to August of 2020, whether you call it of June and July changes, concentration changes have not been manifested because that takes time to get manifested, and decrease is about 40 gigatons in terms of monthly scale. So that is not showing up in concentrations. It is for carbon dioxide. Same is true for methane, nitrous oxide, and SF6, sulfur hexafluoride, etc., for which we have continuous measurements and no change has been noticed from pre-lockdown era of 2019 and lockdown regime of 2020. And now we are putting most of the energy on battling the climate change, but short-lived gases are there, just like ozone, also are to be treated. Tropospheric ozone is very harmful, and that has to be treated. And particularly, ozone depleting substances of the stratosphere have been handled very satisfactorily and successfully by technology induction of ozone-friendly substances in refrigeration, etc. And through a global effort of Montreal Protocol, this was implemented by the global community, global scale benefit, and the ozone hole depletion has been halted, and recovery of ozone over Antarctica has taken place. This is one success story where global community has worked together, came together to solve a issue of global concern to everybody. So we have to, this is one example for this. And the second is, we are working anyway on United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change for emission reductions. Paris Agreement is there to have the commitments to minimize the global warming by 2 degrees by 2100. All those things are there. But now we have under the climate agreement itself, we have a component called under Montreal Protocol on substances that depletes the ozone layer, which focuses on phasing out hydrofluorocarbons. So this is one particular component still we will have to deal in the regime of climate change. This is linked to implementing Kigali, that is called Kigali Amendment of UNEP, which will help to continue ozone layer protection, while also contributing to avoiding global temperature rise, etc., etc. So these are the existing ones. Now let us take a quick assessment of where the global scenario lies. Recent 5 years of 2020 current decade have been seen as the warmest in the record, and lockdown related fall in emissions have not reduced or will not reduce carbon dioxide concentrations that we have seen, and global fossil fuel emissions rose by about 62% right from 1990 to 2019. That is very significant, and consumption patterns must change to support the climate action. So consumption patterns means lifestyle changes are required to reduce the emissions by the global communities has to be there. That is the call given by Paris Agreement, where we have to reduce our emissions, we have to decarbonize also simultaneously, and we should go for a zero emission sort of condition by 2050 globally. Then only the decarbonization efforts got to be started simultaneously to ensure 2-degree warming, because we have already crossed 1.03 warming from pre-industrial era. Half of the trajectory is already reached. So we have a lot of work to do and accelerated work to do in this particular aspect. So apart from the atmosphere, see, oceans are also warming. They have warmed by about 0.6 to 0.7 degrees as compared to lesser than atmosphere. But this warming itself has already manifesting with extreme intensity and frequency of extreme weather events, whether thunderstorms or cyclones, tornadoes are more in number, are forming now, and more intense one are happening. We have never seen back-to-back circulation systems forming over Indian seas of Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea, which used to be a pattern over Pacific and Atlantic. Now we are started seeing that simultaneous occurrence of low pressure systems, depressions, sometimes cyclones, sometimes depression happening on either side of the peninsular India. So that was never been the case earlier, but now we are beginning to see such phenomena more often. And droughts, extreme weather phenomena will lead to droughts and floods, and their impacts associated with that, and their impact on economy has to be dealt with. Glacier melt and sea level rise are another issues of impacts one has to deal globally. And global climate, as it has been discussed, we have the highest concentrations now. Carbon dioxide has crossed 415 ppm, and cryospheric changes are more accelerated. So more studies on glacial melt and the snowpack accumulation wherever it is happening, whether it is related to our lifeline rivers coming from Himalayas or Andes or Alps. So several livelihoods and ecosystems, economies are built on the snowmelt waters, and irrigation associated with that is there both in Europe, India, and America as well. And a lot of focus has to be there in preserving hill ecosystem, Himalayan ecosystem for us particularly. A lot of population and so much of resources, infrastructure is there. So that is one particular concern. And then other UNEP has identified there is clearly a gap emission gap is there, whatever people committed under Paris Agreement and what was required to account for it, there is a gap in that. So somebody has to take more emission reduction responsibility so that that emission gap can be bridged, and we will have a target of 2 degrees, limiting warming by 2 degrees by 2100. So there are so many other aspects associated with that. As a short-term, short-lived gases and the pollutants and warming associated with that are also to be acted upon, so that the warming acceleration can be minimized. That's where the air quality related issues, pollution related issues, and activities associated with that, and the sectors associated with that come into the picture. See, in the current environmental problems can be traced back to the industrialization. Industrialization is cause of emissions of all kinds, greenhouse gases particularly, and we have climate change because of that, and unsafe levels of air pollution, depletion of fish stocks because of oxygen changes in the oceans, and the toxins in the rivers and the soils coming from the pesticide use and phosphorus and sulfur use in the soils for agriculture, and overflowing levels of waste on land and in the oceans, and then loss of biodiversity and deforestation. These are the issues, all related issues for anthropogenic activities have to be addressed. And now in an integrated manner, we have to deal with climate, water, air quality, environment to ensure clean air in your surroundings. So now a lot of knowledge is there, a lot of models are there, a lot of observations are there. For air quality, you need a local scale observations, local scale assimilation capabilities into your modeling frameworks, assessment frameworks, and good representative emission inventory is also required. And we have the best inventory at the moment available is by SAFAR. 400-meter inventory for Delhi is available. All over the country also some 1 degree by 1 degree inventory is available. So that is a great start to work on. That has only made air quality early warning systems to implement in a shortest possible time in 2018, when government has asked IMD and Ministry of Earth Sciences institutions to quickly build an early warning system for air quality of Delhi. So that's what happened because of a lot of background work has been done already, and then it was easy to customize the models and operate those assessments in real time. And we have to build an innovative system, which we have been doing all along by leveraging from existing programs and adding incrementally, whether you call it NCAR collaboration, when you call it Finland collaboration for this particular domain, or in wherever it is required, we have been incrementally doing under the Ministry of Earth Sciences, addressing the overall disaster risk reduction, risk proofing, and addressing contributing to the sustainable development goals and targets kept by India in that particular aspect. And if you talk about the new technologies which will help, like AI, virtual reality, and blockchain technologies, if you talk about, and these are the frameworks proposed by the Global Economic Forum. Every year it meets in Switzerland, comes out on the risks associated with the global economy growth. And now in 2020, they have identified 10 global risks for global economy. Out of that, 5 are related to climate, environment, and air quality. So you can imagine global economy, global GDP is now very intimately linked to the weather and climate related issues and the associated impacts. So much importance is given by World Economic Forum, and I'm briefly sharing. So in climate change, in that clean power and smart transport options, which we talk about for reducing the transport related emissions, so etc. are there. And similarly, biodiversity conservation, we have pollution control figuring in that particular framework. And healthy oceans also, we are talking about polluting the coastal waters from the rivers, bringing pesticides residue and phosphorus and other residues to the coastal waters. And there is that can contribute to acidification of the oceans also. So water security is another issue where water quality becomes a very important factor. Clean air forms a very important component of global risk now, where early warning systems are required, clean fuels, and all these aspects India is working. So moving on to BS6, quality of fuels to be supplied in India across the country by the oil companies is the biggest jump in that particular direction of making available the clean fuels. And then we are working on several of them which are captured by World Economic Forum, but we will have to do more and accelerate those efforts to minimize the air quality degradation and ensure the clean air in the surroundings. And there are frameworks prepared for global communities to build cities and countries to build on these components, identified 5 or 6 components, where all these related issues of climate, air quality, environment sectors are intimately got to be integrated to have an overall solution of ensuring clean air, clean water, and clean soil, etc. around you. Healthy oceans, water security, and weather and disaster resilience. So this is a great change that has happened at the World Economic Forum level. And now if you talk about the soil gets affected by the pollution and waste disposal, which you have problems in dealing with them, and associated with urban expansion. So soil drivers of the soil degradation comprises the urban expansion and the pollution. And in terms of types of soil degradation, contribution comes from pollution in a very big way. And then in terms of consequences of degradation, of soil degradation, so it will have low productivity, low nutrient food production, nutrition insecurity, and ultimately water scarcity added to it will create a water related issues, deficiency issues, water quality supply issues, and equitable accessibility of water, and migration becomes a consequence of that. So we have to find out, despite all this, we have to find out a solution for sustainable soil management. So it is also very important to deal with that. And it is a combined effect of all the actions you take on climate side, you take on water side, you take on air quality side. So you will get a benefit as a co-benefit on the soil side to ensure food security and food nutrition. And here, one particular aspect of ensuring soil fertility is a very important aspect. Earlier, we have about 3.6 billion acres of farmland all over the world. And all of these, before the agriculture cultivation started, soil organic content of the soils was varying from 3% to 7%. When the agriculture started, now today, after decades of several decades of agriculture operations, and we see on an average 1% of soil organic carbon remaining. So we have reduced soil organic carbon to an extent of 2 to 6% on a global sense. And this is one opportunity. By taking all necessary efforts, going for organic farming and other methods available, efforts to take the soil organic carbon back to 3% level. If this is what is advocated by Food and Agriculture Organization, if that happens, we can be contributing significantly to the decarbonization of the atmosphere. So whatever targets are put, whatever adaptation, mitigation options are suggested under the climate action at the global level and regional level, if independently we focus on increasing soil carbon by 1% to 3%, then at least 1 trillion tons of carbon dioxide would be removed from the atmosphere and stored in the soil. So it will increase the fertility and decarbonize the atmosphere. And this is a good potential where FAO is advocating for going for organic farming and going for organic manure and organic based cultivation. And this is one putting carbon back into the soil. So a small percentage of farmers are already doing this by employing practices known as regenerative practices. 5 important regenerative practices are planting cover crops, and all those options are available. So this is what has to be scaled up in ensuring our food security and food nutrition, etc. So carbon enriched soils will provide you so many benefits apart from that. Now let us come to the air quality early warning systems. As I said, we have observations in at least 4-5 cities established by SAFAR, CPCB, and Delhi. If you go, DPCC is also there, Delhi Pollution Control Committee, and we have air quality forecasting frameworks based on driven by meteorological parameters, and bulletins and advisories are given on daily basis to the decision-making authorities to take response actions to deal with the air quality emergencies in Delhi. This activity started in 2018, and that has been augmented, strengthened, improved on continuous basis. And satellites provide transport of dust and other pollutants, particularly particulate pollutants. They give us opportunity to monitor how different concentrations are moving and changing the local scale, continental scale concentrations by the global circulation effects. Copernicus Atmospheric Modeling Service is one of them. As I said, it was operational by ECMWF by the help of European Union, and we have very comprehensively dealt modeling component for aerosols and all sorts of aerosols, carbonaceous and non-carbonaceous aerosols, and it deals with sea dust, sea salt, dust, organic, black carbon and sulfate aerosols, and very comprehensive treatment of modeling subcomponents of the Copernicus atmospheric warning system is there. Best of the science available of the day is incorporated into that, and all the available satellite data, conventional data, and sampling data is put into the assimilation framework of this Copernicus framework, and on daily basis now we have the forecast for every day generated for next 5 days, forecast for fire related radiative power, nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, surface ozone, etc. So this is a very helpful product operated by European Union and made it real time by the ECMWF. Gives a very good basis for building city scale air quality models and taking boundary conditions from these Copernicus framework. So added to that, it has got more detailed treatment of sources from energy sector, residential sector, manufacturing sector, road transport sector, and agriculture sector. So this Copernicus operational framework was backed by a 10-year research by the European community research groups. All their research outcomes are incorporated into this operational framework, and that's how we see Copernicus framework before us. And this is getting updated, background information and the inventorization and global scale distribution of those sectoral emission emissions and their variations, and dealing explicitly all possible atmospheric chemistry into the framework has been continuously improving, and then it is becoming more and more representative and accurate on a global scale. And this is a very heartening development at a global scale happened. It is making our boundary conditions to be more representative and realistic in dealing with continental scale and country level air quality models and city scale models as well. And if you see, this is the BC emissions at 0.1 degree resolution is incorporated in that Copernicus framework. India is very broadly represented in terms of black carbon emissions. This is one particular map of Copernicus framework. So it is a most representative one as far as carbon monoxide emissions. This is how the distribution is mentioned. And then there will be an incremental change from month. These are the mean concentrations. Upper one is the carbon dioxide concentration, lower one is the methane concentration, and this is the NOx emissions and their distributions across the country. And this is one particular development at the global scale has been helping country level activities. And this is about benzene, and this is about black carbon emission from road transportation sector. Within the sector, you have discriminated species concentrations. This I am just showing black carbon is very important for all our considerations in terms of radiative forcing and as well as the air quality associated degradation is concerned. And this is NOx emissions from the aircrafts. This is also assimilated, and this data is collected globally, and this is how the pattern looks. And from the ships also it is collected and assimilated. See the effort gone into building this framework. This is one particular comparison of carbon monoxide estimation by the concentrations used for the Copernicus framework and the recent Sentinel 5P comparison for May 2019. So you can see how broadly at least major areas of loaded zones of carbon monoxide are captured nicely in the Copernicus framework. This is an independent evaluation which is done. So that's a very useful thing. And using that, we have implemented CILUM models, and it gives next 3 days the concentrations. Copernicus gives 5 days, and using those boundary conditions, we are generating these 4 kilometer forecast, grid scale forecast over India. This is for PM 2.5, right one is for PM 10. And if you see the changes, I just wanted to capture during the lockdown, before the lockdown, after the lockdown, and post-lockdown scenario, we are seeing clear reduction. In the middle panel is the lockdown period map. Upper one is the pre-lockdown, lower one is the post-lockdown scenario. You can clearly see clear reduction of PM10 and the PM 2.5 during the lockdown period. So this framework has captured those variabilities very well. This is a CILUM model framework. And if you see the similar carbon monoxide and sulfur dioxide, here no change has been noticed as far as concentrations of during the lockdown period for carbon monoxide and sulfur dioxide, because these are secondary sources are also there. They are generated in the atmosphere by atmospheric chemistry, and then this, although particulate matter reduction is seen because of the industrial activity changes, but other conditions have not allowed for changes to see dramatic changes to happen in carbon monoxide and sulfur dioxide. Same is true with the nitrous oxide, NO and NO2 also. We have not seen any decrease. Similarly, ozone also did not undergo any substantial reduction during the lockdown period. So this conveys a big message for us, saying that, so although you stop your large activities which are generating the particulate matter for various means in a situation like lockdown conditions, but other gases, pollutant gases, are not changing that much. The similar thing we have seen in carbon dioxide reduction and the carbon dioxide concentrations. So there is a thing we'll have to learn, is the learning for us. Although we reduce particulate emission reduction, but associated chemical processes generating the harmful gases in the pollutant in the atmospheric circulation, along with the atmospheric circulation, atmospheric chemistry is playing a very important role here. So when you deal with the air quality management issues, we have to very seriously think about the atmospheric chemistry and associated generation of secondary particles, as has been pointed out in this particular thing. So let us also discuss what has happened in year 2020 in Delhi. So these are different areas of concentrations of PM 2.5 measurements starting from 1st March to 14th April. So lockdown started from end of March, you can see. So whenever dip is there in the PM 2.5 that is associated with rainfall, you will see the dashed line where rainfall has occurred in Delhi. So that has led to the deposition of the suspended particulate matter of PM 2.5 nature. And after the during the lockdown period of end of March to 14th April, those first 3 weeks of lockdown, you will see there is a decrease compared to the pre-lockdown period, but there are some areas still they are higher, like Munduka is higher concentrations compared to other regions. And this is what was seen in Delhi using about 8 locations concentrations on continuous basis. And what is not changed is morning smog. Morning smog has seen at least on 3 occasions during the lockdown period also, that too for a few hours it is there, and that is associated with the increase in humidity. So that means humidity increase is the early morning fog conditions are there. Whenever humidity green line you can see in the bottom panel. So wherever green line is there, humidity is increasing. There only upper green line radiation is long wave radiation is increasing, and at the same time blue line is the PM 2.5 increase is there. So you can clearly see whenever that few hours morning before 9 o'clock, smog formation, fog formation associated with the increased concentration of PM 2.5 even during the lockdown period for few hours in the morning before 9 o'clock. So these are some of the changes associated with the atmospheric conditions, ambient atmospheric conditions, and the pollutant concentration changes. So this even during the lockdown in Delhi, these things are there. And there are few stations where 2-minute resolution sampling is there, and that will tell your local scale changes that is happening. And this is very useful for understanding the atmospheric chemistry processes. And another important factor where you have seen ozone has not undergone much change during the lockdown. So this is very important factor to be taken very seriously, because tropospheric ozone is one of the most harmful gas which will affect the human health very strongly as compared to other gases. So this is one factor which we are not got benefit from the lockdown. Not only this, another 4 or 5 things we have seen. And now let us come to the crop residue burning issue briefly. And here Punjab, you can see is a published paper again from IITM group and IMD group put together for about so many years. This crop residue burning was monitored both on Punjab, Haryana, Pakistan, etc., and all put together also combined picture of crop residue fire counts are provided. in this particular thing, right from 11th October for 2018, if you see, from 25th November, whole period of crop residue burning, where daily values are increasing, etc. And compared to the 7-year average, 8-year average of fire counts from 2010 to 2017, 18 was 18 fire counts of 2018 were very high, and contributions from Punjab were assessed to be about 74%. Contributions from Haryana are assessed to be 12%. We'll discuss about it more with more details. And 12% is coming from Pakistan also. Although minor contributions are there in certain conditions where low pressure systems associated with western disturbances are there, something will come from HP and JNK also. Rajasthan also contribute a little bit of contribution to the air quality improvement. So experiment was clearly demonstrating, modeling experiment has shown that with inclusion of fire count related air quality concentrations of PM 2.5 in particular shows the increase in concentrations of PM 2.5 in Delhi. So there is a clear establishment of fire counts contributing to the increased concentration of PM 2.5 and carbon monoxide also. And here if you see, as you have seen, 74% majority of contribution to the fire count induced air quality contribution, concentration contribution comes from Punjab, and this has been quantified in a paper published recently. And on an average, 8-year average, if you see, it says that about 20% contribution is coming from the non-local fire emissions. That is fire emissions happening, particularly crop residue burning occurrences in Punjab are contributing on an average, non-local, it could be Punjab, Haryana, all put together, about 20%. And in episodically, that contribution can go up to 50 to 75%. So in quantitative terms, 80 to 120 micrograms per meter cube contribution, maximum contribution in an episodic, high episodic event also is possible over Delhi. And in terms of actions, what actions have happened in recent times, particularly over Punjab, if you see, they have taken some steps, not limiting to this alone. Overall, greenhouse gases are also effort has been made. 3 fossil fuel based industrial clusters they have taken. That was adopted. That policy was adopted by, initiative was adopted by about 1300 MSMEs, and that they could contribute to the reduction of 5.88 lakh tons of carbon dioxide per annum. Reduction has been quantitatively identified and quantified. This is reported by the Punjab State Council of Science and Technology. And cleaner technologies, government has spent about 300 crores to achieve 5.88 lakh tons of carbon dioxide reduction per annum, and particulate matter reduction about 52,000 tons per annum. Apart from carbon dioxide reduction, these 1300 MSME clusters could contribute the reduction of particulate matter to an extent of 52,000 tons per annum. It is significant and benefit to the industry. Government has spent about 300 crores and benefit to the industry is about 340 crores. So it is a win-win situation in terms of the air quality improvement, although it is incremental, but good beginning has been made. And industrial workers are also benefited because of bonus and other things. When industry earns more, on an average 25,000 benefit has been there. If you talk about how to use paddy straw after it is collected from the farmer's field, and there is this one particular facility which became operational. It is briquetting paddy straw unit. It uses about 40,000 tons from 35 villages. So in every cluster of villages, you have to put this kind of technologies. Apart from this, we have bio-CNG technology options for utilizing this straw, and sugar mills and power plants also can use this as against the coal burning for generating the power, and those options are there. Even this paddy straw briquetting unit is GHG reduction is to the tune of 70,000 tons of carbon dioxide. So initiatives are there, but they have to be scaled up in a big way. So work has started and we are seeing demonstrable quantified reduction from those efforts which are done so far, and crop diversification is also happening by reducing the crop area cultivation for the paddy in Punjab. This is one particular area where maize is started getting cultivated. At least 9% of the areas where paddy cultivation is reduced area. So you see, Punjab generates about 20 million tons of paddy stubble every year. And this is despite 6% reduction in the area sown under the paddy. Area sown under non-basmati paddy is about 9% reduction. So non-basmati only is an issue for stubble. Basmati stubble is consumed as a fodder by the cattle. So non-basmati area has, although it is declined 9%, but still due to diversification of the crop like maize, etc. So fire counts during this year have increased compared to previous years. And this program, there is a technology provided accessories like super SMS and other accessories provided to tractor to take care of, to take the stubble out of the field and then take it to those briquetting factories or the bio-CNG factories, etc. And that has to be scaled up. That effort has been there in Punjab, and Punjab Pollution Control Board, now they have made compulsory to use super SMS accessory for harvesting, so that very little stubble remains on the ground, and that can be used while seedling happens for the next crop, and particularly the wheat crop. And there is another issue which has to be dealt, farm fires counting across the villages at the village scale. There is difference of the counts from Punjab Remote Sensing Application Center and the other remote sensing centers monitoring this particular aspect. So we have to rationalize the methodology of accounting for farm counts, and then action associated with that can be formulated. Uncertainty associated with that got to be removed. And Punjab government in 2020 has deployed about 8,000 nodal officers. Almost 8,000 villages are there in Punjab. Roughly 8,500 villages are there. For each village or a couple of villages, each nodal officer is provided. Now technology is there and manpower is there, and only the other option of biodecomposer is made available by the scientists of microbiology group of Indian Agriculture Research Institute, and we are reviewing that option as well to address ways and means of effective way of dealing with crop residue burning minimization in Punjab, Haryana, even Rajasthan and some part of Western UP are there. So some efforts are, we started working on those things. And other important factor which has to be dealt is the construction and demolition waste. Here we have initiations, we have guidelines updated in 2016, but many of the issues still not fully covered in these guidelines. Now smog guns are there in the construction sites to minimize the dust pollution coming out of that particular source. And then under Swachh Bharat, we have generated solid waste management guidelines, and a lot of work needs to be done on that front. We have just started working on guidelines, and we have to work more on dealing with the solid waste and sewage related aspects in the urban areas. And major challenges are we are not able to quantify the construction and demolition waste available to deal with that. And then we have to convert it and transport it and create it into a recycled material to be used for eco-friendly construction now. So those options are available, but only on proof of concept level, and we'll have to make those things more possible, make it to happen, to use ability and capacity to use whole of the construction and demolition waste into a recycled material and eco-friendly material. That effort has to be organized in months and years to come. And solid waste management is another important area where a lot of effort is required, where it will affect the soil and contributes to the methane emissions locally and other harmful gases also when emissions from the untreated solid waste management uh, dumps are uh, concerned. So drums are concerned. So we have to work on these aspects very importantly. So and there are enough guidelines are there, but compliance mechanisms got to be worked out for these areas to ensure air quality, improved air quality scenario in city like Delhi. And once this is accomplished, this experience can be replicated under the National Clean Air Program, which is launched across 100 cities of the country, can be replicated. And dust pollution, windblown dust and roadside dust is another important area to be dealt with. We have some mechanism of dust sweeping, mechanized sweeping mechanism that won't cover the whole part of the city, only some big roads wherever are there that is possible. And we have to work more on managing the dust pollution apart from the pollution from the construction and demolition waste. And in brief, appropriate methodologies for emission estimation for different C&D activities, construction and demolition activities, need to be worked out very quickly. Build and operate necessary C&D waste utilization technologies, ready mix concrete, pavement blocks, curbstones, concrete blocks. These are the recycled material which can be used in this particular way of all the available construction and demolition waste, and build decentralized network for waste recycling infrastructure. So enough infrastructure for recycling and generating these alternate building material got to be built so that whole C&D waste generated can be consumed and recycled. Thank you very much. And very important factor is natural sources of carbon monoxide coming from the thunderstorms and lightning associated with that. So lightning intensity has gone up so much in recent years, 2009, 19, so many deaths are there, and IITM works very closely on this particular aspect. And you can see almost throughout the year we have lightning incidences recorded, and lightning strikes, particularly ground to cloud to ground strikes of 2019 amount to about 3.5 million strikes. And then there is a new areas of lightning strikes are noticed compared to earlier. We used to think that only East India, Northeast India used to have lot many lightning strikes, but you see strikes are distribution of strikes across the country is different, distribution of deaths is also different. So human response to lightning is also a factor to be addressed, apart from the observing lightning strikes and the intensity of lightning discharge and the prediction of lightning incidences, etc., and conveying the people to go to a safe shelter to avoid the lightning associated mortality and morbidity. And in climate change scenario, because of warming, more intensity and more frequency of lightnings are happening in the country. And if you see how that lightning impacts air pollution, so there is a clear evidence that lightning bolt produces nitrous oxide, which combines with oxygen create nitrogen dioxide. And this is one particular factor, and then when interacts with oxygen, it generates ground level ozone also. So this particular aspect has been incorporated in modeling framework called Community Management of Air Quality Modeling Framework of EPA. And then this component also will have to incorporate in our air quality early warning models. This is a natural source of ozone generation, and apart from the anthropogenic activities which we have discussed. So these are some of the areas, priority areas identified to build science-based evidence for the action on air quality reduction can happen in as early as possible by the efforts of Commission, and working with the active groups in IITM, Earth Sciences, Pollution Control Boards, and academic institutions like IIT Kanpur and IIT Madras, IIT Mumbai, not IIT Madras, IIT Mumbai and IIT Kanpur. And there are several NGOs like TERI and Air Quality Foundation, and several groups are working. We will take knowledge, benefit, guidance from all those institutions to build appropriate air quality improvement action plans for the country, and first for the Delhi and for NCR cities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ramesh, for a very comprehensive, lot of information, detailed talk. And we do have some questions from the audience. I selected few and posted to you through the chat option. So you come out of the PowerPoint.
Yeah, come out. Chat. Okay, two of them are posted, no?
Three are there. So kindly read and see how much you can reply.
How large is the impact of ongoing COVID?
Could you please read it loud, so because audience may not know which question?
Yeah, I will read.
Thank you.
How large is the impact of ongoing COVID in clean air management in India? Are the reduced emissions during COVID will help the air quality management? What are the anticipated challenges in this aspect during the post-COVID time? Okay, this I have mentioned it during the presentation. We have seen during the COVID time substantial reduction in particulate matter concentrations of PM 2.5 and PM 10, but not in the gases of the pollutant gases, whether you take it nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide, and sulfur dioxide and ozone. If you talk, there is no reduction is seen because they are generated by a secondary mechanisms, and atmospheric chemistry contributes to that. So in a post-COVID scenario or during the COVID or pre-COVID, dealing with harmful gases like NOx and sulfur dioxide and carbon monoxide, ozone, that effort has to be pursued more vigorously, and due to the lightning factor also, increased lightning activity also, natural ozone is also getting generated apart from NOx and NO. So we are not getting benefited except in the particulate matter related aspects during COVID, but rest all in the bouquet of air quality management species, we are not getting. We have to work as far as the activity is concerned, relief is concerned, only in particulate matter we have seen, but not on any species of air quality. And second question is, if you are talking about AI and ML, then what data can be used to model or estimate the pollutants? So here AI and ML will tell you to use wherever long period data is available. On fire counts, you have long period data. You are able to relate the existing contribution. Additionally, beyond the local emissions of Delhi coming from the crop residue burning in different parts of the country, not only in Punjab, Haryana, even Rajasthan, Himachal Pradesh, UP, etc. That demarcation, quantification, segregation has become possible. So similar concentrations now on other matters of the gases, we have Copernicus hindcast products available for 20 years. about 5 or 6 maps you have seen on daily values at 0.1 degrees resolution. Globally, they are available for 20 years of hindfast framework. So those data sets can be used and analyzed over India using these artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms and even blockchain technologies. That's what suggested by the Global Economic Forum. I think now many companies will be developing AI tools and ML tools based on these products which are made available by the Copernicus framework. In hindcast mode, 20 years daily values are available of the concentrations. They have been those products are validated to a reasonable extent. So there is an opportunity to use these AI and ML tools to estimate the concentrations, and in conjunction with the air quality frameworks which we are talking about. And there is a city scale framework called Infuser, which I did not talk much about it because still it is in an experimental mode. And there are enough opportunities, enough data sets are available to work on AI and ML based algorithms to have the good distribution of air quality concentrations. And another important question which is asked by Yogesh is to better estimate carbon dioxide and other GHG fluxes over India. We need a robust surface GHG monitoring network in the country. As of now, we have very few sites which affects the quality of inverse modeling which we have developed. I completely agree with you, and we need to set up more sites of GHG fluxes. You know that FluxNet is operated by IITM and MOS institutions, and then a similar effort is made by under National Carbonaceous Program by the Department of Space. Another 6 sites are operated by them. Now, Ministry of Environment Forest is establishing long-term ecological observatories at 6 places. And there again, it is an opportunity to set up greenhouse gas fluxes in different parts of the country. Additionally, so the opportunities are definitely increasing, but they are not increasing, expanding in a rapid way as we intend to have them. But definitely, 3 ministries, Environment, Forest and Climate Change also is adding to their effort in terms of long-term ecological observatories, and DST under their missions at a couple of places long-term ecological observatories are also approved by them. So in all, I think in about 2 years time we should see about 18 to 20 places where greenhouse gas fluxes are measured, and that they will be representing at least 18 to 20 ecosystems, and that is a good beginning. 6 years before, 4 years before, we didn't have anything. So now after 8 years of effort, both by Department of Space and the IITM and other institutions, we are able to see about 12 stations working, and they will be added by another 6 or 8 by the efforts of MOEF and the DST. And opportunities are many. I think things are going to be better and better, and maybe another 3 years we will have at least 20 stations contributing to this understanding. Thank you, Yogesh. Good question.
Okay, thank you, Dr. KJ Ramesh. Now I invite everyone to switch on their camera. For example, Dr. KJ Ramesh, can you please stop screen share so you will automatically be visible?
Yeah, I'll do.
Sachin Gude, are you there or you want to participate in the discussions?
Yeah, I am here.
Mugunji, please switch on your camera. Okay, Sachin, so the floor is over to you. So do you have any final comments or some keywords for discussion? Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for this excellent talk. And actually, congratulations for becoming the permanent member of this newly formed commission by central government.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, actually, we are very much excited to know that now this commission is going to utilize our air quality product designed by MOES for effective DSS decision support system for this commission. Sir, many of us would like to know about this commission, what are his objectives and how this commission is going to work to manage air quality better in Delhi and surrounding areas.
Yeah, this is the intention is we had only guided initiatives in the air quality by the court directives, whether it is called Supreme Court or the NGT, National Green Tribunal, and other sometimes many times high courts also. And special commissions, special committees were formed like EPCA, Environmental Protection Control Authority, and Controlling Agency. And then you remember the Graded Response Action Plan was formulated, and Air Quality Act was there, Environmental Protection Act was there, and but there was no full-time structured mechanism in the country, or particularly in Delhi, to deal with the air quality related issues in an integrated manner from the neighboring countries. They are the airsheds of air quality transport from their regions, both in terms of industrial pollution, in terms of particulate pollution from crop residue burning, and all forms of pollutant transport into the capital. There was no full-time mechanism. So to have this full-time mechanism, this commission is mandated to build those mechanisms in consultation with all the states. See, 5 states of chief secretaries and principal secretaries dealing with environment and air quality are members of the commission on an ex officio capacity. And then 5 ministry secretaries of the central government department who are related, like surface transport, environment, forest, urban development, agriculture. They are the members of ex officio members of this commission, and 2 non-official members from NGOs groups, prominent NGOs groups who are working on air quality related issues are also made members of the commission. So commission has 15 members and 1 representative from ISRO to guide on remote sensing related aspects of air quality is also a part of the commission constitution. And for full-time working, there are 4 people nominated. Dr. Kuti is retired Secretary to Government of India, Petroleum and Natural Gas. Before that, he had a long stint of dealing with air quality division in Ministry of Environment and Forest, and then he was Chief Secretary of Delhi, and he had academic background from agriculture domain and PhD from Indian Agriculture Research Institute. He has, apart from administrative experience, he has a lot of experience on air quality related issues while dealing with Ministry of Environment and Forest at the air quality division, and as well as on the agriculture front. He himself has a varied background. He has a couple of times he had postdoctoral assignments also abroad for 2 years on agriculture technology and agriculture activities related issues. And another member, full-time member, is the Air Quality Division Joint Secretary, who was looking after Arvind Notial, is a member in the commission. He will provide all liaison and assistance required to smooth functioning of the commission activities. And 2 technical members are appointed. I am one of them. And another technical member is Professor Mukesh Khare from IIT Delhi. He is a very celebrated environmental engineering scientist, and he has contributed immensely to EIA and other related activities, guided more than 15 to 20 PhDs in air quality related issues, and is a real authority in the area. And our work is to develop common understanding on the issues of concern of Delhi air quality by taking all the states and central government ministries into the assessment process, understanding process, and evolve a most acceptable application approach to the emission reduction in the states of Punjab and neighboring states of Uttar Pradesh. So the commission domain is over NCR and as well as adjoining states also. That's how the 5 state secretaries, principal secretaries, are members in the commission: Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, and Delhi. So we have started interactions with various groups, particularly Central Pollution Control Board, IMD, and Indian Agriculture Research Institute microbiology group, where this biodecomposer option is now talked about and tested in some selected field sites. And we have taken the review of the NGOs who are working on the field with the new crop residue cutting technologies which are provided for last 3 years across the Punjab and Haryana. And we had a very detailed briefing from the member of EPCA, Madam Sunitha Narayan. So these are some of the activities. We just started working from 15th of this month, and we are trying to understand the issues, and we have just started the consultation. Hope with everybody's effort, most acceptable solution, suitable solution for air quality improvement would emerge definitely by next year to show some substantive changes is the target with which Commission is working. Thank you, Sachin.
Thank you so much, sir, for detailed description about the committee.
Okay, thank you all. I hope it is time for us to conclude the session. So I formally thank Dr. KJ Ramesh for this wonderful talk. And actually, this is Sachin's initiative, today's talk. He was unable in the early hours, that's what I chip in. Mugunji, also thank you for joining in this session. I thank also all the audience for listening to this talk. If you have any doubts, kindly email to Dr. KJ Ramesh. He'll be happy, I guess, to answer your queries. Thank you. Sachin, shall I conclude this session? If no more comments, then I will.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sachin.
Yeah,
Thank you,
welcome. Bye.